Boston Fleet returned to their inaugural building for the first time since November 23rd. Toronto Sceptres in town, eyeing to get back into the win column as we welcome you inside the Songa Center.
So we get started, Boston and Toronto for the second time this year, with the Fleet going up to Toronto and winning game number 2 of the season, 3-1 victory in a game that Toronto led. And that was an oddity because Boston has basically been the better team in almost every first period they've played all year. The only time that wasn't the case was basically that game against Toronto, where they outshot Boston 9-2 in the first, had the 1-0 lead before Boston scored 3 unanswered. And it's Watts right at center ice, got a little hit in on Kluga as Boston changing. Here is Ella Shelton, one of the key moves in the offseason, coming to Toronto for a couple of draft picks to New York. Megan Keller, the leading scoring defender in the PWHL this year, and Haley Wynn, who has been so impressive, the second overall pick in the PWHL draft. They're back on defense for Boston. Those two play more minutes than any other two skaters in the PWHL. Keller over for Wynn, takes it off the wall, and does keep it in as Boston plays it around. Keller comes down to pinch, and Abby Newhook, the rookie, gets to it, but some good pressure put on, and Toronto gets it out. Chance here for some numbers. Over Malte's shot is stopped by Frankel. Good setup by Jesse Comfort. And Malte got an opportunity on the Boston goaltender.
Good first test by Toronto, and the top two lines have contributed 70% of Toronto's goals, and so you love to see that they're engaged in the offense already, both the first shift with Turnbull's line and the second one with Comfort's line.
Maggie Connors comes back in, plays it over for Clara Van Wieren. Toronto tries to set up down low. Zanin, one of the rookies, key selections in the second round for Toronto this year. Annalena Mueller lost her footing behind the net. The pressure to start on the forecheck for Toronto early, but Boston does get it out to center, and a chance here for Mobley. Gets behind. Mobley fires a rebound available off of Kirk, but it's Toronto who sweeps it up, and Connors comes back the other way. Tapany back to get it first for Boston. That was Olivia Mobley. Didn't play the first couple of games, but she's now skated in 7 games in a row. And just another one of these rookies performing so well for Chris Sparr's team. Nice poke by Woods to keep it in. Emma Gentry gets to it in the corner. And Hjalmarsson. Taken away again by Mobley.
Love the pace that Toronto has already started the game with. Their D are very active, they're joining the rush, and they're finding these neutral zone plays.
Here's Carol Watts coming through. Watts tries to go wide, but an excellent play by Wynn, and that's why she's on the U.S. Olympic team for the first time. Wynn skating right through the neutral zone after making a solid play, and that is whistled down. How about Haley Wynn? Makes that play defensively, skates the puck through the neutral zone, and, by the way, draws a penalty on the reach here from Watts.
Interferes with her, which will send him to the box, and the Fleet on a power play.
So it is a power play for Boston that's ranked 3rd in the PWHL this year. Most of that is because of Megan Keller, who scored 3 times. And it is a Royale Tiger towel, paper towel power play. Just 1 for 15 over the last 4 games. But what Chris Sparr has told us is he's happy with what some of the analytics say about how many chances they're creating. So he's trusting that right now with this group that's out there. Tapany, nice little touch pass over. Keller didn't get everything on it. Ella Shelton got a stick in the way, and it's out to center.
And that's something that Boston Fleet is going to look to do a lot. Quarterback is Wynn on the power play. They like to move it from left to the middle over to Keller for that one-time option.
Toronto's penalty kill 4th in the PWHL. They are 7 for 8 over the last 4 games. And that comes out. Is it tricky to get the power play this early in the game when you haven't even had all your skaters out there?
I mean, it definitely shifts the lines combinations up a little bit, but it's always fun when you get the opportunity to, as a skater, to go on the power play.
Here is Rattray walking down. Boston setting up here. 40 seconds remaining. Boyd plays it over. Mobley couldn't get a stick on it. Mobley takes it off the wall for Zoe Boyd once more. Has Shopsel in the middle. Comes over for Huber. Ella Huber getting more and more responsibility of late. A little bit of a different unit here on the second power play for Boston than what we've seen of late, as Boyd's shot is deflected out of play. Keller, who we've seen score from that exact spot a few times this year. So here's Wynn. First power play units back out there for Boston. 13 seconds remaining on the player up. Mueller from the wall with Fast the closest to her. Gets it right back. And back for Haley Wynn. Walking the line, plays it down for Tapany. Gives it back for Wynn. Over for Keller. Walks in, fires it. Hit a couple of bodies in front. Player coming right out of the box. Watts was available, but Toronto couldn't quite get the pass through. But they do kill the penalty. One official shot on goal for Boston on that power play. They're up 3-1 in shots for the game. Still scoreless early. And Mueller comes back in. Hits Brandt coming right off the bench. Shot did not get through. Rebound still available. Brandt is down. Kirk as well. Where's the puck is the question. It's whistled right here. Almerson for Toronto as the Sceptres try to dig it out from their own end. It's been a little while since Toronto has played, as Natalie mentioned off the top of the show. January 6th was the Sceptres' last game. So they've had a little bit of time here, coming off 3 consecutive losses. And boy, Troy Ryan really was excited that he just got some practice time, which he felt like they hadn't had enough of. And he said it might have been their best week, most valuable week of the whole season.
And it's really important as an athlete to be able to have those 2, 3, 4 days in a row where you're learning a system or you're getting those touches and you're building that chemistry with your teammates. And we've seen it so far. Toronto's came out with a lot of pace to start this game.
It feels like there's not a lot of space on the ice. Toronto doing a nice job getting to pucks, especially like here in the corner. Boston does have 5 shots so far, up 5-1 in that category. Wynn plays it over for Megan Keller after digging it out. Another block shot. Keller stays with it though. Back for Wynn. Fires from the outside and a save by Kirk. Deflects to the wall where Keller gets to it. And now Maloney switching spots. Plays it over Saulnier. Tried to get a tip in front with Liz Shepers. Once again, Keller in deep. Boston loves to have their defenders pinch. They don't mind that. Keller nearly had a set up to the middle. Rattray going for that puck, but it's Anna Shelbin. Plays it back for Toronto. They're in the offensive end for the first time in a bit. Sandin in the corner with Tapany getting there first. And Mobley starts out for Boston. And it's whistled down. 12:45 remaining in the first period. So one power play opportunity for Boston. They're up 6-1 in shots as we play here in Lowell. Boston and Toronto. Score as we play here in the first period. Ella Huber pushing the pace for Boston. As Toronto tries to dig it out. Oh, it's turned over. Shepers right off the bench and just missed wide. Luga picks it up in behind. Tried to center up. It hit a skate of Flanagan. And Spooner plays it back, and Toronto now forced to reset from its own end. Still kept in. Megan Keller, a lot of space to walk in. A save by Kirk. There have been a couple of rebounds available, but Toronto's done a nice job clearing them out so far. Keller once again. Back for Wynn. Walks in. Plays it to Shirley. Shirley fires a glove save by Kirk. Again, it squirts out, and Toronto skates it through the neutral zone with Malte.
Great push. And the speed by Ella Huber on the forechecking created a lot of those chances and those turnovers for Boston Fleet to have some chances on net.
Icing waved off. Brangman will reset for Boston. Gave it right back for the Sceptres. Savannah Harmon. And there is Daryl Watts. Shelbin forward for Turnbull. Here comes Watts moving in. That got deflected. Comes free. Ends up finding Shelbin. Couldn't quite spin and get a shot on goal. So Watts now resetting. Good pressure there by Tapany to force that puck out. Toronto forced to tag up, and Boston can reset.
We talked about Tapany in the opener, her highlighting her goal scoring, but it's those little simple plays defensively, her speed, her stick position to break out plays and help her teammates go to offense.
It's one of the things, remember the beginning of the season when we would talk with whether it was Chris Barr or Danielle Marmer, the general manager here in Boston, about Tapany, and I just can't understand why she's not higher on these lists of best players. There's a chance for Mueller, and ends up hitting off of Shelton's leg. Such a valuable player to have, and a veteran at that. still available for Woods in the corner. Gentry in there as well for Toronto. Boyd was there for Boston. Half the first period gone. Shots are 8-1 in favor of Boston. And this is what they've done all year under Chris Spar.
It's such a fun testament to Coach Spar and his energy. He demands the pressure on the forecheck, and the players have really bought in. He appreciates that, and he said that right off the bat to us before the game of how they have bought in, enjoy the system, and they're moving their feet.
Megan Keller back to get it. Toronto did not have a shot for 9 minutes until that one, which Frankel sticks aside. Van Weeren along the wall. For Savannah Harmon. Good pressure there from Abby Newhook, Boston rookie. Newhook played just down the road at Boston College. Plays it back in for a reset here for Maggie Connors and the Sceptres. Coming through with 9:11 remaining in the first period. Still no score. Taken away by Shea Maloney. Maloney back in. Maloney a little toe drag, and the shot missed wide. Good pressure coming back by Callie Flanagan.
Broken! Oh, that's broken! That's broken! That's broken, Hill.
Somebody's got to dig it out. It's Kluge. Works back for McKinnon now. McKinnon wrists one. That got knocked down in the slot. Still available. Huber gets to it. Huber turns. And a glove save by Kirk.
Here with Toronto Sceptres head coach Troy Ryan. Coach, Boston had a few chances early, but how do you want your team to try and flip the script?
Yeah, I liked our chance early on, the 2-on-1s. If we execute on that, maybe you're in a different game. I didn't like the penalty we got, so that gave them a little bit of momentum. But I think we're all right now.
Coach, thank you.
Appreciate the calm demeanor he has. And he's right. They had chances early on, and I think it's important as a player, if you're on that bench, you look up at the scoreboard, you see the shot numbers, but more important is the goal. It's 0-0. It's still a tight game. You're in the game. All it takes, and so I really appreciate the calm demeanor and the focus on the positives that he had in that response.
And let's be fair, a lot of the shots, and again, this is why we talk about sometimes the shots don't tell the entire story. It's been a lot from the outside. There's been a lot with a lot of traffic in front, right? So it's not necessarily that they're giving up great A's despite the shots being at 10-3 at the moment. Jesse Comfort plays it around for Malte, who had that chance on the 2-on-1, wraps around, and Erin Frankel keeps it out. Frankel lost her stick in the process there, still stayed with that well and makes a left pad save. This is icing here. Chance here for Rattray. Cannot beat Ella Shelton to the puck. One of the best defenders in the PWHL out there with Renata Fast. Turnbull comes back in. Turnbull fires and a save by Erin Frankel. Again, it's been a little bit. Toronto hadn't played a game, period, since January 6th before this one. Then they'll have a bunch in kind of a compressed time frame before we get to the Olympic break at the end of January. There's still plenty of points available. We're early in the season. There's plenty of time. Toronto right now 6th in the PWHL in points. Boston still first. 23 points this year. They've been at first place basically wire to wire so far. What a wonderful start to the season it's been for the Fleet. Saulnier, nice little pass to get it to Mueller, who settles it down and waits for her teammates to get out there. Pesheva goes down the wall. Good job, though, over there by Claire Dalton. That's exactly what Troy Ryan's talking about and why Dalton has gotten so many opportunities moving up the card. Face off to the defensive zone here for Toronto. Still a scoreless first period. Toronto scored a goal early in that game against Boston when these two teams met. Feels like so long ago, back at the end of November. Newhook plays a pass over for Mueller. Abby Newhook, who scored her first career goal in that game for Boston, following up the Turnbull goal. It's part of 3 unanswered for the Fleet and their second victory of the season. Once it gets it ahead, Turnbull launches it into the offensive end. Toronto changes out. 6:20 remaining, first period, no score. Fleet and the Sceptres. Gentry got a stick on it, but Kluge comes back to get it for Boston.
Great play by Shelby in the neutral zone to step up on that and keep the puck from entering her zone.
Here's Woods. Boston plays it right back in with Bregman. Sheldon plays it around. Woods gets there, but some pressure again from Boyd. So these are some of those shifts that we've seen Boston put on their opponents for the first chunk of this season, making it difficult to get out of the zone. And that lead to a chance. Sheldon's on it now. And a little flip to center, but again, Boston knocks it down. Toronto was able to change one skater for the moment. Clara Van Wieren gets out, and now the Sceptres can complete their line change. Big hit behind the Boston net. Bregman was the one who went down. Van Wieren gets to it as it works around for Flanagan. Sends it right back where it came from. Megan Connors with Brandt getting a hit in behind the net. Just a game that feels like there has not been a ton of open ice either way for either of these teams. It hit the back of the net. Connors gets to it, tries to center up. A lane for Flanagan. That did not get through. Follow-up chance still loose. Then Van Wieren couldn't quite get her stick to it. Works it back for Flanagan. Fires from the outside. And it got blocked up high by Jill Saulnier. Van Wieren once again. Good response shift here for Toronto. That's blocker to side, and the follow-up chance. Oh, a little knuckleball for Frankel, but she does secure it. Really nice shift there for the Sceptres, getting some chances on Erin Frankel. Both teams really have been effective getting traffic in front of their goaltenders, making it difficult to get shots through. So we mentioned the Boston shot advantage. Now all of a sudden Toronto has the last 5 shots on goal in this first period. It's 10-8 for the period, but still scoreless. The stat that matters so far. And Ellis Shelton coming through, works it wide for Malte, got some space, plays it over for Spooner. What a save by Frankel, going up high with the glove.
Beautiful 3-on-2 execution. Here's Ellis Shelton, drop pass, and a nice another feed to Spooner coming in. Here's a look at that nice right hand, trying to go top shelf, and faceful Haley Wynn gets of Erin Frankel's glove, but excellent work saving that puck.
Yeah, that was a save and a win from Frankel. Spooner in behind. Here's Selena Mueller. As Boston now the team trying to get out of its own end. 3:40 remaining in the first, and a scoreless tie. Abby Newhook put back together with Schopsel and Mueller today, and penalties coming up here. Mueller got hit behind the net. It's a holding call. Will go against Toronto and Jesse Comfort. So Boston will go to the power play for the second time. So Boston, the power play for the second time. Another Royale Tiger towel power play for Boston. So again, as we talked about a little bit earlier, it is not the lack of chances here, it's just the lack of finishing. Made just 1 for their last 16 now over the last 4+ games. Squirts free, Wynn got a ton of space, Keller over, decided to pass up the one-timer, worked it back for Wynn. Haley Wynn, who quarterbacks. Gets it back, Keller, one-timer, scores! She passed up the first, so she could bury the second. Boston on the power play.
It is no secret that Megan Keller's one-timer is the play they are looking for. Such a great job moving the puck up high, moving it low, Mueller up to top, over. Look at that one-timer. Just a great placement by Megan Keller, and the tape-to-tape passes are key. I know it's simple, but if Haley Wynn puts that anywhere, 5 feet in front, 5 feet back, or even a foot off, it's not the same result. And so she tees her teammate up perfectly for a 5th goal of the season.
5th goal overall, 4th on the power play, but we are going to take a look at this, and they're going to see, was there any kind of goaltender interference and perhaps a player in the crease for Boston? So get a look at the overhead look here. It's Abby Newhook who's in front. It's a little bump by Flanagan early.
Yes, a little bump, you're right, by Flanagan at the beginning of this play. And her skates are clearly in the red, or in the blue paint.
Another look at it here. Really, the only contact in terms of the goaltender.
The skate and the stick is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So right there,
yep.
But that's after the puck at least is pretty close to the point where Kirk would be, or maybe even when the puck went by.
After review, there was goalie interference on the play. We had no goal.
So just enough contact, and the goal is waved off. So Megan Keller's 4th power play goal of the year will have to wait for a moment. So they did add another second in the building, so 1:28 was on the power play time. So now we continue on. So Boston power play, no score, goal taken off the board. And we remain scoreless here in Lowell. Tappany for Mueller. Nice touch pass for Newhook to bring it in. And Newhook cycles away from the wall. Abby Newhook moving towards the net. Will spin again. And finds Megan Keller. Over for Wynn. Thought about the one-timer. Instead we'll reset over for Keller. Shelton is the one closest to her. And the penalty kill for Toronto. Wynn plays it down for Mueller. Back for Haley. Wynn over for Keller. One-timer missed high. Tappany touch pass for Abby Newhook. And whacks it on the wall for Mueller. The one thing that break does, it will keep Boston's first power play unit out there the whole time. Keller sets up again and a block shot by Shelton. And Toronto does clear. That was hit with a high stick by Wynn. So everybody's got to reset with 23 seconds remaining on the penalty time. Pressure here by Toronto as they try to take the final seconds off this penalty. Huber skates out and right out of the box. How about that stick play? But they're going to rule that Comfort is going to have to turn around and go right back in.
Toronto number 18 has a minor penalty for interference.
So it's an interference penalty is the call against Comfort. Let's take a look at it.
The puck gets chipped up here, and it just as Rattray's coming out, you can see her in the far right side of your screen pointing her arm back towards Comfort, alerting the ref for a penalty call.
So hadn't even gotten fully out of the penalty box and has to turn around and goes right back in. So another power play chance here for Boston. Another Royale Tiger towel, paper towel power play. 0 for 2 so far for Boston. Officially, even though the goal was taken off, no shots on that last power play. Look for the Fleet. Here is Tappany. Megan Keller couldn't hold it. And win back to get it. 48 seconds remaining in the period. So this power play will overlap into the second should Boston not score. Remember, at one point, Boston was up 10-2 in shots. Toronto has closed within 1 here in this first period. And they've been aggressive on their penalty kill. The one chance that Keller did have, obviously, but they've been pretty effective here so far.
They've been quick to anticipate, which has allowed them to get in the shooting lanes and try to block more shots.
Mobley's shot looking for a rebound there, saved by Kirk. Comes around for Megan Keller. Here is Wynn. 5 seconds remaining in the period. Keller comes down, tried to pass it across. Turnbull comes in to get it, and will skate it out to end the first period. A scoreless game between Boston and Toronto with 43 seconds of power play time for Boston when we come back for the second. It continues to be a Royale Tiger towel power play attempt here. What have you seen? Obviously, there was the one goal that got taken off the board because of goalie interference. But otherwise, what have you seen from this Boston power play, which is creating chances, but is struggling to find the back of the net in this weird sort of dichotomy?
Right, and in one hand, Toronto's doing a really good job reading that play. So they know that they're setting up looking for that Keller, so they're in the shot lane. So how can Boston adjust to that and utilize Mueller or Tapani on the left side or net neutral zone?
Oh, maybe a jailbreak chance. Good save by Frankel on Darryl Watts as that snuck through, even underneath the diving Haley Wynn. So again, going back to Boston here, just 1 for their last 17 on the power play over their last 4+ games. Ranked 3rd overall in the league this year. And Keller, one of the best players on the power play in the PWHL. She's got it now, plays it over for Wynn. Penalty time expires, but Wynn scores! Up top! And Boston leads 1-0. A lot of traffic in front, and it's Alina Mueller who leads the line, and the Fleet have an early lead here in the second.
Boston really able to capitalize on this. So Reagan Kirk stops it behind the net, but it's a turnover. Fleet are able to take advantage of this. They move it up, go D to D, and Mueller will come in your screen at the last second here for a high tip on a beautiful feed by Haley Wynn. Another look at that. Oh, it looks like it just goes straight in. Great shot.
Would have been quite a tip if she got it there. She certainly led the line. Mueller's 2nd goal of the season, and so Boston, it won't officially count as a power play goal right after time expired, but it's in that 4 or 5 second window where the power play is over, but the player is not yet on the ice, and the Fleet have a 1-0 lead. So Alina Mueller with her 2nd goal of the season, 6 points now. "35 seconds into the second period to give Boston the lead. And this is a spot that they have consistently been this year, as that pass was a little too far for Jesse Comfort. And the Fleet bring it out the other way with Maloney, who plays it in. Boston, 8 times in their 11 games played this year have scored the game's first goal, and now add another one to them. It goes back to the first period thing that we talked about, but just sustaining the starts to games has really been the biggest reason why the Fleet are in first place in the PWHL.
That's one thing Coach Suarez mentioned. Hey, we want to be able to continue our urgency and our killer instinct as the game progresses.
That is whistled down, played with a hand pass. That was an overall point he made to us, and I thought it was a good one. That, you know, early in this season when he came in, a lot of new players, you have this prove-it mentality of, you know, trying to have that mindset every single day. And then all of a sudden, you go into first place, and now you're getting everybody's best shot. And now all of a sudden, you're kind of the hunted in some ways, but they want to keep that mentality that they had early in the season of, you know, continuing of trying to get better every day and continuing to try to show that they're the team trying to prove something. Here comes Shirley, goes wide with it. Bregman plays it around. Susanna Tapani points in 5 consecutive games, including a goal, the first goal of the game in Halifax over the weekend. Boston falling to Ottawa in the shootout. One-timer, point from the outside, missed wide. Nice hack there by Hjalmarsson. Gentry gets it out to center for the Sceptres. Right back in. Mobley couldn't get it through, almost found Tapani off a deflection there. Zoe Boyd plays it over for Bregman. That got knocked down. He's still loose off of Rattray's stick. Boyd now once more, using that wall like you talked about. And Tapani picks it up ahead of Ella Shelton. Tapani circling. Haley Wynn switches out here for Boston. She walks towards center, gets it over Rattray, and a one-timer is blocked in the skates of Ella Shelton. Haley Wynn once more, plays it down for Rattray, but it's Shelton who got there first for the Sceptres.
The aggressive pinching by the D is keeping the puck in the zone for Boston.
Keller stops at the red line. Here's Newhook trying to get through, but 3 white sweaters there to prevent Abby Newhook from getting to the net. Megan Keller will reset. 4 minutes into the second period, a 1-0 lead for Boston. On the goal on the deflection by Alina Mueller just after the Boston power play expired. And whistled down for icing. Fans watching a Boston Fleet team that again has not lost in this state so far in this season 3 of the PWHL. There's a centering pass. Kirk got a piece of it, just slides it back where it came from. Pesheva plays it back down. Give and go there, and a chance for Maloney off the setup from Ella Huber. Pesheva again pinches down. Huber sets up on a backhand. Didn't get the shot all the way through, but goes and gets her own pass per se. Boston getting to some 50-50 pucks in the offensive end right now. Luga works it back to the line. Here is Pesheva. Fires that got deflected. A chance for Huber. Couldn't quite get a stick on it.
Harmon with some strong defensive play, breaking those pucks up and then blocking the one on Huber earlier in her shift.
There's Liz Sceptres. Frankel lost her footing behind the play, but no problem for the moment. Basket back to get it for Toronto. There's Zanin. Plays it forward for Frankel. A bit of pressure from Claire Dalton. Put on for the Sceptres. Nice pass for Sceptres. Liz Sceptres tried to get it through. Second effort does, and a save by Kirk. Face-off slightly in favor of Toronto so far. Just 2 total shots in this second period, both belonging to Boston. Of course, one being the goal. That's the only one at the moment. Rattray tried to center up. Daryl Watts right there for the Sceptres. Trying to find an opening. Works it over for Savannah Harmon. Going wide. Again, just a solid defensive play there by Haley Wynn. Watts twisting against Tappany. Comfort comes down. Here is Spooner. Watts comes off. Spooner tries to center up. It was a little bit behind the offside of Flanagan. Spooner's done some decent work down low. It feels like that passing lane might be available at some point. Flanagan walking in towards the net. That was blocked before it got to Frankel. Again, it's Haley Wynn. How many times do we call her name over the course of a Boston Fleet game?
She's so poised with the puck. 2 different times in that D zone. She had pressure. Most players under that kind of pressure, you're a rookie, you just throw the puck away. Instead, made a smart heads-up decision, move to her partner.
Megan Keller, nice pass to get it for Rattray, who whacks it in. Boston changes. 7 minutes gone in the second period. A 1-0 lead for the hometown Fleet. Newhook knocked it down well at the line. Trying to get back in 3-on-2. Newhook plays it over. It was broken up, and right there, Schaffsel pushes it on goal. And Reagan Kirk holds her spot to keep Boston up 1-0.
Power play shot by Haley Wynn. Nice deflection by Alina Mueller. Puts her team up top at the Tsongas Center.
Boston has the 1-0 lead on the goal by Alina Mueller. That was Toronto's first shot of the second period, by the way. So we've had these stretches where it's been both teams where 5, 6, 7 minutes without a shot on goal either way.
Yeah, the team usually dominates for that stretch and is in the offensive zone and then flips a little bit. And so it'll be interesting to see who's going to step on the gas here. Is it Toronto going to come back and come roaring to get a goal, or will Boston continue to add to its lead?
Renata Fast keeps it in. Oh, Mueller got hit up high right along the red line. Taken away by Abby Newhook. He turns it back in. Shane Maloney tried to center up for Huber right underneath her stick. Haley Wynn plays it back in. A 1-0 lead for Boston on the goal by Alina Mueller just seconds after the power play expired. Megan Keller couldn't quite keep it in. It works down the other way. By the way, that was Mueller's 41st career point in 62 games with Boston. That makes her Boston's all-time leading scorer with 41 points, surpassing the Fleet's former captain Hillary Knight. Taken away here, Huber, nice pass. Maloney's shot is stopped. Rebound for Kluge, just got a stick on it, but couldn't get it towards the net. Keller plays it over for Wynn. Wynn working down the wall, switches to a backhand and gets it over for Megan Keller. Shuffles away, but good pressure up top by Maggie Connors. Wynn still on it though. Wynn all the way down, tries to center up, got deflected up in the air, then a follow-up chance, and it just sweeps wide. These are those shifts that we talk about though. Puck stays in for a little bit. Connors tries to get it out for Toronto, and does for the moment. Anna Brandt got knocked down. Right in front of the Toronto bench with Baskin coming off the change. Turnbull comes over to get it. Callie Flanagan now. He played for college hockey here in Boston, at Boston College. That flip to center. Knocked down by Savannah Harmon. Harmon works wide. Chance from the outside, no problem for Frankel.
And it's fun to see that urgency, and a lot of that what you see is in the offensive zone and how they are able to attack and create turnovers and bring to the net. One thing I'd like to see a little bit more of is shooting around the shin pads. There's a couple block shots by Toronto that they're doing a really good job staying in the lanes, and so they either got to change the point of shot or shoot around and look for some of those tips, which they had success with.
Yep.
Alina Mueller got a tip-in goal earlier.
And that is the lone goal that we've had in this game. The Fleet have the lead. Again, over the halfway mark here as we play in the second period. Sceptres trying to respond back. Emma Malte, who had a couple of good chances earlier on a 2-on-1 with Jessie Comfort. Megan Keller's the one who digs it out for Boston. Rattray now. Flips it in behind Flanagan. Left the puck behind. Good work there by Flanagan. Whacks at it all the way in on Frankel. Out of fast. Ella Shelton. You like defense, this is certainly a game for you. You look at the combination of Shelton and Fast. Look at Wynn and Keller. Hard to find better combinations than that across the PWHL.
And I'm excited to see kind of what the second half of the game's going to bring for Shelton and Fast. They're so aggressive in their movement with the puck. They skate so well. And so they just haven't had the looks yet, I don't think. And so it'll be interesting to see how can they get involved a little bit more and create that offense from the blue line.
Boston resets under 8 minutes remaining in the second period. A 1-0 lead for the Fleet. Trying to dig it out, and eventually does. As Boston will change. There is Renata Fast. Connors plays it in. Kind of back and forth here. Not a ton of high event moments, at least recently, as we play in the midst of this second period. Shaba plays it forward. Wasn't out of the first effort. A couple of good hacks at it from the line by Hannah Baskin. And here comes Shirley. Sophie Shirley got it through underneath the glove of the goaltender Kirk, but not quite on goal. And Shirley lost her glove in the process. Saulnier, a little chip. forward for Ella Huber. That's a good closeout there by Savannah Harmon.
She's had a strong game. We've seen her all over the ice, shutting plays down, whether defensively or blocking shots, and really accelerating the offense when she is able to skate into the neutral zone, makes her really good reads. She's having a strong game.
Harmon came into this game 6th in the PWHL in time on ice. We have, it's kind of crazy, 6 of the top 8 skaters in the league in time on ice playing in this game. The top 2 for Boston, Wynn and Keller, and 4 of the top next 8 for Toronto. Blocker save there from Frankel. Carol Watts comes to it, plays it down for Dalton. As his top line tries to set up. Out of fast, tries to throw it towards the net, got caught in a couple of skates, and Watts resets. Oh, nice pass, Spooner right off the bench, missed wide. Huber put just enough pressure on to force that shot wide from Natalie Spooner. Luga got a stick on it on the pass from Turnbull. Good work there by Kluga. Ends up getting possession for the Fleet. Tapany using the wall, shielding pressure from Turnbull. Plays it back down for Rattray. Rattray looking to center up. Switches spots with Bregman. Throws it towards the net with Tapany getting a piece, and it just missed wide. Tapany again got knocked out.
Just a great effort by Rattray there to take the puck away and keep possession.
Mobley comes free and just brushes off the shoulder of Reagan Kirk. Boston couldn't quite keep it in. Zoe Boyd back to get it ahead of Malte, putting some pressure on. Good work by Malte. Feels like it's going to be that kind of thing. An effort play somewhere is going to create an opportunity. Turned over, Harmon once again. Finally, it's Mobley who knocks it all the way down. This will be icing, though, with 4:20, 4:19, in fact, remaining in the second period. Boston and New York still the top 2 teams in terms of rookie scoring this season. And for a while, they've been the top 2 teams in the standing as well. Ottawa charging up as well. A lot of great teams in this league. Shot from the outside. Frankel sees it and secures it with 3:55 to go in the second period. Still a 1-0 lead for Boston on the tip from Elena Mueller. I think the thing that's amazing is, you know, you look at the standings, and a couple of days ago when we looked at the standings, there's different team second, different team third. We're flipping, we're flopping. Montreal playing last night. You know, everybody has got a chance to move up and be right in the thick of it. Here's a chance. Newhook right towards the net. A save. Kirk, who goes spinning after Saulnier's the one who ended up getting into her, and the puck missed wide. And penalty here. And McKinnon's called for the penalty for Boston, a tripping call against the Fleet. So first power play opportunity for Toronto.
Right off the face-off, beautiful play over to Newhook. Watch how she puts her left skate out. That gives her some separation from Shelton to get the shot on the net. And here's the tripping where McKinnon will sit in the box, and we'll get to see the Sceptre power play unit for the first time tonight.
It's that follow-through that ends up taking the skates out. First Royale Tiger toe power play for Toronto. Oh boy, was there a chance for Zanin there on the backside. Fast plays it over for Watts, walking in, tries a shot, it's deflected out of play. And one thing that Troy Ryan really wants to see is more opportunities. That's been a big factor here. Of those 24 power play attempts Toronto has had, 16 of them came in the first 4 games of the year. This is just, in their last 8 games, they've only had 9, including this one, power play attempts. It's just hard to get into a rhythm that way. Turnbull's shot turned aside by Aaron Frankel. Haley Wynn tries to get it all the way around and does. Tough task to try to get it going against Boston, which is the #1 penalty kill in the league at 96%. 24 for 25 on the season. They also take the fewest penalties in the league as well. It's a good recipe. Sceptres reset, 47 seconds remaining on their power play time. Flanagan gets it forward for Natalie Spooner. And again, it's broken up. An excellent play by Hannah Brandt.
Such a fun player to watch. Just so intelligent, and on that, she knew that the puck was going up, so she's already 5 feet into her route to take that puck and deflect it out of the zone.
Jesse Comfort got the pass from Shelton. Spooner now, out for Flanagan. Flanagan walking the line, back for Comfort. 12 seconds remaining of the power play time. Flanagan from the outside, missed wide, with Spooner putting some traffic on in front. Now push Bregman to the wall. Boston still had it momentarily before Shelton picks it up for Toronto, but it's forced out by Saulnier. Toronto has to tag up, and that will do it for the penalty time. Officially no shots on goal for Toronto on that power play, and then it's whistled down for icing. Face-off win, and the chance got knocked down from Anna Shelbin with pressure from Mueller. Coming back against Shelbin. Gentry flips it to center. Pesheva back to get it for Boston. Final minute of the second period. Fleet scored 45 seconds into this period with Mueller on the tip play. That lead has still held up. Deflected out of play. That was a game that Boston, similar to this, had a 1-0 lead. Ottawa tying the game in the third period and then eventually winning in a shootout. Charged point streak that finally came to an end yesterday against Montreal. Shelton did not get it by Pecheva. Not a ton of shots, not a ton of chances over the course of that second period, but Boston made one count. Mueller tipped in on the initial try from Wynn, and the Fleet have a 1-0 lead after 2 periods. Pushed in for Renata Fast to go back and get us started in period number 3. 1-0 lead for the Fleet over the Sceptres. Toronto trying to come back and break this 3-game losing skid. Goes all the way back to the end of December. Round for Daryl Watts, who pushes it right back where it came from, and Fast is in deep. Wonder if that's something we'll see. Those defenders who really get involved in the offense when Toronto's going right, maybe pinching in a little bit deeper as they try to find a goal. It's going to be whistled down here as Fast tied up on the puck. Keller flips it to center. Here's Mobley off the wall. Get a clean shot on it. Tipped somewhere as Tapany was coming down the opposite end. And a Tapany. Down Mobley. Jamie Lee Rattray out there for Boston. Wynn plays it over for Keller towards the net. Missed wide. Tapany picks it up once again. Had a lot of these pucks kind of stuck against the boards. They're out to center here, but couldn't quite get all the way there.
Strong work by Mobley along the wall, like you mentioned, and then to just be able to keep the puck in. The thing is, so Boston's doing a great job pressing, keeping turnovers, but how do you bring that to the net?
It continues to be the rookie Haley Wynn pacing things for the Boston Fleet. It's one of those things we saw early in the season. You start to follow it and you say, is it going to stay that way? Maybe it's a couple of games, a lot of power play time. No, you watch number 8 play for a little while. She's just going to be on the ice as much as humanly possible.
Her backhand passes, I mean, it's so subtle and simple, but to be able to make that first pass as a defender to your teammate to get yourself out of the zone, it's invaluable, and she's very good at that.
The second overall pick in the PWHL draft, Haley Wynn. Penalties coming up here behind the play. So Toronto, which had their first power play opportunity near the end of that second period, they'll get another crack at it here, trailing 1-0 early in the third.
Carrying in the zone, you see Sophie Shirley just gets her right skate out, and that trips up Dalton as Dalton's coming in the zone.
Yeah, you got a good look at it from that angle. So a Royale Tiger Towel power play here for Toronto. Their second of the game. Had that great opportunity early in the power play chance, but that was their only look on their first opportunity. Kluge gets to it and clears for this Boston Fleet PK, which again, number 1 in the PWHL, has only surrendered 1 goal this year. It was against Vancouver in Detroit a couple of games ago. Watts comes in, works wide with it for Turnbull. Toronto trying to get themselves set up. A lot of Boston players in the area. Squirts out to Fast, plays it over. Hjalmarsson shoots, it was blocked. And then Wynn's stick got caught with Hjalmarsson. Fast plays it over. Watts gives it right back for Renata Fast against Saulnier. Switches spots with Daryl Watts. Walking in, Watts tries to get a shot through. Hit a couple of skates before Boston clears, but it was deflected out of play. Flanagan back to get it, 57 seconds on the power play time. As Toronto looking for an equalizer here in Lowell. A 1-0 lead for the Fleet. And Malte brings it in for the Sceptres. Off the wall where Natalie Spooner got to it, but Megan Keller is right there for Boston. Trying to stay with it. It was tied up with a couple of different players. Now it's Flanagan once again. Returns it for Comfort. Spins a backhand for Spooner. Now in deep for Malte. It's the rookie Bregman who's down there. Ella Shelton, 25 seconds to go on the penalty. Fires and it deflects wide. Coming to the near side, Comfort picks it up. Flanagan towards the net, bobbling puck. Spooner's right there, drives it towards the net, and Frankel kicks it out. Flanagan once more, 8 seconds remaining. Over for Comfort and a block shot by Megan Keller. Flanagan once again, over for Ella Shelton, shoots it, goes all the way through untouched, comes out to center, and another penalty kill for Boston. How about that chance from Spooner, who actually had space, such a rarity in that spot, and got it all the way to the net.
So rare, but she was able to turn around, and Erin Frankel right there, ready to meet the challenge.
So it remains 1-0 Boston. Just over the, approaching 5 minutes into this third period. Frankel had to stick that aside. Can Toronto sustain some momentum out of those good chances at the end of the power play? Off the wall, Fast, on her backhand, flips it over, Cutters his shot, and Frankel can see it clean and secures.
Some good puck movement, and here's Spooner. Wide open net front, able to curl and turn and try to get a shot, but Bregman did a really good job leading with stick, coming over, and look at Frankel, left pad save, able to hang on to it. And what do you need above all else if you're in front of the goalie? Block those shots. Goaltenders love it when, and your teammates love it when you sell out, and that hurt. You could see Keller shake her hand after it because it hit the inside of her palm.
Fast again from the wall, from the outside, that got knocked down. Hjalmarsson's chance. Toronto definitely, though, sustaining some time here in their offensive end. They're actually now out-shooting Boston for the game for the first time. Renata Fast again, little bit of a bobble. Still finds its way to Woods, and it hops up for Frankel to glove it. Shots in this third period, 4-0 in favor of Toronto. By the way, that's as many shots on goal as the Sceptres had in the whole second period. breakout. That goes out of play. Flanagan untouched. And a mistake there will give Boston a power play chance.
Number 6, 2 minutes for delay game.
So a Royale Tiger towel power play. Boston officially is 0 for 3. Remember, if you're just joining us, Boston did score a power play goal in that first period, but it was taken off the board on review for goaltender interference. Megan Keller's one-timer, but they ruled the Newhook was in the crease and affected Kirk's ability to play the puck. So that came off the board. Then Boston officially not a power play goal, but the goal by Mueller came just seconds after the power play expired, so before Comfort had been out of the box and back into the play. Keller here for Haley Wynn towards the net with a tip from Newhook. Some space available there for Abby Newhook. Just deflects wide. The rookie Newhook, who has played on this first power play unit really since about the third game of the season. Chris Bard talked about how much he likes her ability in front of the net, and that's why she's stuck with this group. Megan Keller, first one in for Boston, lays it forward, great chance across, and it's just under the stick of Newhook as Mobley set it up, and then another penalty here. Malte with the hit on Newhook. And 48 seconds of 5-on-3 coming up for the Fleet.
Number 27, 2-minute minor penalty or hooky.
So here Boston goes, 5-on-3 here for 40 seconds. Wynn comes all the way through. Wynn still on it, switching spots with Megan Keller. Keller back for Wynn, shifting towards the net. Switches with Tapany. Tapany comes down for Mueller. Back for Tapany. And it's Megan Keller once more. Boston being patient. Wynn fires, just missed wide. Shelton gets to it, whacks it around and out. Good work by Ellis Shelton. 18 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. And then Wynn blew a tire behind the play, so that's precious seconds that comes off. Keller quickly back in though. Megan Keller will sit for Mueller. Haley Wynn. 5-on-3 expires. Tapany with pressure. Over for Newhook off the great feed from Mueller, and it missed wide. Wynn gets back to an excellent play by Turnbull out front. And now Boston can reset. Newhook comes right back in. Turnbull's there. Trying to use the wall and now does get it out to center. 49 seconds to go. Good work by Toronto.
And Turnbull especially, you mentioned it, but she really came out hard on Keller, took away that one-time option, didn't allow any really good high-quality plays except for that one at the end, and she was able to clear the puck out a couple times.
I mean, it almost feels impossible that that number we just showed you is true, but it is just 1 for 20 for Boston over the last 5 games on their power play. Of course, you had one go in that was taken off the board on replay. And it's not for lack of chances. Big hit at center ice there. Rattray tied up with Van Wieren. Huber behind the net, 13 seconds remaining. I think there was still with Rattray down, there was no one in that spot to keep it in. So it comes out to center. Officially no shots since we came back from that 5-on-3 look for the Boston Fleet. And Toronto kills it off. A wonderful job of the Toronto Sceptres. Can they take advantage now, trailing by 1 with 10:50 to go here in the third period? Turnbull was trying to sneak in behind. Boston turns it right back in. Oh, it's taken away by Maloney. Maloney underneath, using the wall well. Works out. Chance from the outside, knocked down. Keshava tried to get it through. Stretch pass, Watts tapped it back, otherwise would have been offside. And Saulnier comes back in and is crunched into the wall by Renata Fast. And Saulnier a little slow to get up. Here comes Daryl Watts, has Malte, broken up well by Boston, and Shirley reaches back to get it, pushed down at center ice. Got a bunch of sticks and tie up. Physical game right now in the third period with Boston holding on to a 1-0 lead with half the third period gone. And there's penalty. So they're going to get the reach and some extras after the fact. Malte going for Toronto, Shirley going for Boston.
Boston number 9 has a 2-minute minor penalty for hooking. Toronto number 27 has a 2-minute minor penalty for body checking.
So, no power play here. Minor penalties each way. We'll take another peek at it when you return to Lowell. So let's go through that sequence once again that sees Shirley for Boston and then Malte for Toronto called for penalties. You'll see number 9 for Boston first here. There's your hook.
Yep, that's her Sophie Shirley stick. And then here comes
Right
Malte.
there.
And then the left elbow kind of gets up on the shoulder area. But again, the players, yeah, exactly. Emma Malte is not agreeing with that call. But she ends up having to sit in the box alongside Sophie Shirley. And it's just kind of, they weren't necessarily coming together. They weren't in stride skating at the same area. It was kind of opposite areas where the check encountered, but it has gotten so much more physical just in the last 2 minutes after all those power plays had finished.
So 9:52 remaining in the third. It'll be 4-on-4 here with Boston still up 1-0. Here's Megan Keller. Keller and Wynn once again out there. Sheppers off the wall for Boston. Sheppers fires. Oh, that's loose of the crease before it was swept out. Gentry will have to get rid of her stick. Keller fires a blocker save. Hops right in the air off of Kirk. Boy, it was a good save, but that rebound was there. And Toronto did a nice job to sweep it away. Here comes Mueller. Against Renata Fast. Tapani collects. 1:20 remaining, 4-on-4 hockey. Win over. Megan Keller walks in, shoots, knocked down, and comes to the near corner. Here's Fast. Little tip play, missed wide. Dalton sweeping across, got a piece of it. Plays it into the corner. Boston changing. Does partially as well. Renata Fast trying to create some offense through the neutral zone. Turnbull now. Fast tried to come over and get it back for Watts. Broken up. Pass for Maloney, a bit too far.
That happened on the earlier play. Wynn made a beautiful cross-ice pass to Mueller, but just out of her reach.
Shelton trying to get it out, but it's taken away. Jay Maloney putting decent pressure on and ends up getting Shelton down to the ice. Just momentarily, though. Shelton starts it forward, just 5 seconds remaining of the 4-on-4. Bregman back to 5-on-5 hockey. 7:43 to go in the third period. Boston still up 1-0. That early second period goal by Alina Mueller has held up. Here's McKinnon. Flips it forward, knocks down for Huber. Ella Huber, good back check there by Emma Malte. And a nice pass forward for Spooner. Trying to create. Spooner goes wide against Megan Keller. Looking to center up. It was deflected, and then Baskin has to retreat. Toronto tags up. Just over 7 minutes to go in the third. Look at the pressure from Mobley.
Mobley's been doing that all game. Just strong along the wall. Quick, using her explosiveness to get in there tight. And for Boston, they've done well on the forecheck. It's just how can they get into the high slot area and get some chances to the net?
Malte centers up for Spooner. Can't get it beyond Wynn. Lead her right back in. So again, we've talked a lot about shots and what kind of story does it tell. Remember, Toronto had 4 shots very early in this period. They do not have one officially on goal since. Boston has the last 2, but again, just kind of a low event in terms of shots on goal, not necessarily in terms of chances. Here's Tapany, pulls it off the wall. Tapany fires and miss wide. Boy, got that shot quickly away once the positioning was there for Susanna Tapany. Facing wind off, Peshova. Couple of fakes. She knifes it up the wall with Newhook getting a piece of it. Kurt comes way out to play it ahead of Schapsal. Haven't had a whistle in a while. All the way down to 5:30 remaining here in the third. And Boston holding on to the 1-0 lead. Harmon coming down, missed wide. Just so much traffic in front there. Nowhere really to shoot that puck. Boyd lost her stick trying to get rid of it, as did, excuse me, it was Jalmerson actually who lost the stick. And plays it back in. Turnbull, nice hit to get it away, but didn't have the help yet as Toronto was changing. Darryl Watts on it right now. Watts trying to create from behind the net. Watts couldn't quite center up. Harmon reaching for it. For fast, it was blocked. Abby Newhook got her stick in the way. Mueller gets it to center. Boston, oh boy, almost had too many players on the ice as they were changing there.
Boston having a difficult time trying to get out of their zone. Toronto with a strong forecheck.
4:17 to go. Keller fanned on it and came in offside. 4:15 remaining in the third. Come back with us for the home stretch. Boston trying to hold on. 4:15 to go as we restart here in the third period. The Toronto Sceptres trying to come back down 1-0 here in Lowell. Sceptres trying to snap this 3-game losing skid against the team number 1 in the PWHL standings. Jesse Comfort back to get it for Toronto. What do the Sceptres need to do here to find that equalizer?
That's been the story of the game, right? How is Toronto coming in, going to generate offense against the second in the league defensive team?
Ella Shelton with the chance from the outside, secured by Aaron Frankel.
Boston does a phenomenal job compacting, like getting tight in the slot area. So Toronto needs to draw them out and shoot away. Like, can't shoot into the pads. They have to shoot and find sticks. Players have to be off the net and look for those deflections and redirects.
Spooner for Malte. 3:30 remaining here in the third period. Spooner gets it back. Mueller got a piece of it. Spooner plays it backhand in for Comfort. Malte now works it out for Flanagan, walking the line. Flanagan fires, it was blocked by Saulnier. Forward off of Mueller's stick, and it's Mueller who brings it through for Maloney. Fires a save by Kirk, rebound goes! Maloney follows it up, and Boston leads 2-0.
What a huge goal for Boston's Shea Maloney. Alina Mueller starts this play, brings the puck out of the defensive area as Jill Saulnier makes a huge block, and they skate north. Watch this little give and go. That allows Flanagan to come a little farther over to Mueller, which gives their space for Maloney to come in. And I love this. Don't just shoot and skate past the net. Stop in front. Look at who cleans up her own rebound. It's Maloney to put her team up 2-0.
Second goal of the year for Shea Maloney. I thought Toronto, to their credit, had done a really good job clearing out some of those rebounds over the course of the game, but maybe just one too many that Boston takes advantage of late. Still plenty of time here for the Sceptres. 2:49 to go, and Kirk coming to the bench now. Empty net for Toronto. 2:43 left. Boston now leads 2-0 as the Fleet looking for an 8th regulation win this season 3 of the PWHL. Plays it around. Watts trying to dig it out. Shirley who does, but big was offside there. 2:11 to go in the third. Comes around for Daryl Watts. Nice pass for Renata Fast. Gets it over. Shelton is blocked. Follow-up chance. And a swipe in front by Dalton. And it's kept out. But now it rolls in. Toronto with life. Boy, that had to be a third or fourth effort in front. What a job staying with it. And Emma Malte, who's really had a lot of chances for the Sceptres, gets Toronto within one.
After a big-time block, the puck just squeaks through. So we'll see this. Shelton with the shot, Win with the block, but again, the puck is just bouncing out front, and Malte stays with it. And she's able to battle as Turnbull is also net front. And they're just going and are able to go squeeze through 5-hole on Aaron Frankel to pull them into, it was Claire Dalton net front.
Looked like she just went to kind of play the puck as it sat there, and it just kind of opened up the 5-hole momentarily. So Emma Malte with her second goal of the season, her 10th career PWHL goal. 2-1 game, 1:38 to go. Puck comes in deep, so Kirk has to stay for the moment. Likely will follow the play for Toronto. Can they pull off a miracle comeback here in Lowell? Mueller stops it at the line, plays it over Maloney, had it on her stick. Now Boyd comes in, it got knocked down, and Kirk secures it. 1:20 remaining. First step is the face-off win. Toronto does that. Kirk comes to the bench. 1:14 remaining in the third period. Empty net for Toronto, down by 1. Megan Keller gets her stick free. Can't get it out here, though. Good work along the wall by Fast, pinning it in. Dalton over in the area as well for the Sceptres. Keller now is the one pinning it to the wall for Boston. Squirts free. Haley Wynn on it for the Fleet. Wynn fires it up the ice and will get it to center. Ahead for Saulnier. The empty net there. What an effort by Fast with 2 Fleet players there to keep that from going on goal. Daryl Watts is in. That's deflected out of play. 37.3 to go here in the third. It's Maloney and Malte to take the face-off. A crucial one. Malte had it momentarily, tied up on the dot now. Malte sweeps it over. Shelton fires. It was blocked. Goes to the corner with Wynn getting in the way. Daryl Watts now. Nice pass across for Shelton. It's blocked by Saulnier. Then Frankel sticks it aside. 22 seconds to go. Still on the wall here. A lot of green sweaters in the area. Maloney can't get it out. Turnbull flips it forward. Renata Fast towards the net. Right in front. Dalton is there. Frankel trying to cover it. And does with 7.6 to go.
Toronto is really pressing, trying to get the puck to the net. And here's the puck, top of the key, but Saulnier, 2 different blocks, able to keep the puck out, kicks it out to the wall, and a wall battle ensues. Just incredible work so far by the Fleet, keeping the puck out as Toronto tries to regroup and bring the puck to the net.
Gotta win this face-off now. Wynn gets to it first and will pin it to the wall. Final 3 seconds coming off. Is there a shot to be found? It rolls away, and no, there's not. Boston again holds on home ice. Fun night in Lowell as the Fleet get the victory over the Toronto Sceptres for the second time this year. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, folks. For our producer, Casey Carter, director, Tim DeRoyan, for Natalie Norrie, Gigi Marvin, and our whole team in Lowell, Eric Galanti saying good night from Songus Center. Thanks so much for watching another edition of the PWHL.